Are you ready for a miracle?
Ready as I can be.
Hey, are you ready for a miracle?
The Spirit will set you free.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Are you ready? Are you ready for a miracle? I heard this story. This barber, he was feeling good and decided he wanted to give back to the community. So he decides for a whole week he's going to give free haircuts. Yeah, wanted to do a community service and just felt good and loves people, and you don't need no haircut over there, you know. Anyway, so the barber, first customer comes in. It's a florist. The guy works with the florist, and he cuts his hair, and he says, well, how much do I owe you? And the barber said, nothing, it's free. I'm giving free haircuts this week. I just want to give back to my community. I'm just happy that I got a business and I can do that. So the florist leaves. The next morning, the barber opens up his shop, and sure enough, there's a dozen roses on his porch. And so he goes in and thinks, well, that's great. That day he works a while, and pretty soon this guy comes in. It's a police officer. He cuts his hair, and the cop says, how would I owe you? He said, nope, I'm giving free haircuts this week. It's free. It's on me. Wow, well, thank you. He leaves. The next morning, sure enough, the barber opens his shop. He's got a dozen donuts on his porch. This is working good for him. Well, that day, a politician happens to stop by the shop, barber shop. He gets his hair cut. Well, what do I owe you? And he says, no, haircuts are free this week. I'm doing a community service. I just feel good. Glad I got a business. Glad I can do it. Free haircut. Well, thank you. He leaves. The next morning, the barber gets to work. He's got a dozen politicians lined up waiting for a free haircut. I knew you'd like that one, yeah. Darling. You know, we have the privilege of doing a show here for the children, and we do about 5 of those a year. We bring in all the school kids from the rural areas. A lot of schools have taken music out of the school. We don't like that. So we give them a show, and we teach them the music history of Oklahoma, and it's so much fun. And this last group we had K through about the 8th grade, packed, every seat in the house full. Had all the kindergartners right here on the front row. And we keep the show real up, and the songs are real fast. Well, then I came out and I said, I'd like to slow things down and do a love song. And you can hear, hey! So I began to sing The Rose, my personal favorite, Kevin. And as I was singing, I could tell that the girls were snickering, and Mike was playing the piano for me that day, and he was like, you know, giving me the look of the kids out there. When I looked down, all the kindergartners on the front row were doing this. The therapy should last just a few more months, but I'm getting it. In case tomorrow when you get to church, you feel uncomfortable, just get the bulletin and start reading it, see if you can find any mistakes. I love these. The choir invites any member of the congregation who enjoys sinning to join the choir. The outreach committee has enlisted 25 visitors to make calls on who are not afflicted by any church. Affiliated. Okay. They're a slow group tonight, aren't they? Let me read them slower, okay? The low self-esteem support group will meet Thursday at 7 to 8:30 p.m. Please use the back door. The third verse of Blessed Assurance will be sung without musical accompaniment. I've heard them do that. It's pretty sad. This is my favorite one. Our next song is Angels We Have Heard Get High. I had tattooed makeup put on, Alan. These lips, this eyeliner, it's all tattooed. I get up in the morning and I look just the same as when I go to bed at night. I thought it would be a good selling point to get a man. Mostly now when I look at myself, I think, am I getting ready to go somewhere or have I already been? Well, my buddies Dave and Charlie, they're riding across the stagecoach out in the country. Peter, I need your help on this one. Listen up and give me some drum when it's time, okay? They're cowboys, okay, and they're riding across the desert. Their stagecoach. It's got a flat tire or what? Peter, okay, anyway, so they're riding across the desert, and Charlie says, Dave, there's an Indian behind us. It's hard working with a new drummer. There's an Indian behind us, Charlie. Charlie said, Dave, how tall is that Indian on the horizon? He said, he's about that tall. Okay, don't worry. So Charlie, he's whipping them horses. He's getting that stagecoach going. They got to go a little faster across the prairie. Got to hide that stagecoach from that Indian. They're going a little faster, a little faster. Charlie says, Dave, how tall is that Indian on the horizon now? He looks back, he said, he's about that tall. Charlie said, don't worry. He is whipping them horses. He is trying to get across those, find a rock, a canyon, somewhere to hide that stagecoach. Finally, Charlie says, Dave, how tall is that Indian on the horizon now? He looks back, he goes, oh my gosh, he's this tall. Charlie said, Dave, get your gun and shoot him, shoot him. Dave said, I can't. I knowed him since he was this tall. You got to count your blessings. Find one if you try. Just count on the Lord and watch those blessings multiply. 'Cause those might have, should have, could have been are nothing but distressing. When you're down and out, it's time to count your blessings. Yeah! I wonder how many of you here tonight, you got a car to drive home in. Count your blessings. And how about if you drive that car, you got a home to go home to? Man, count your blessings. How many of y'all are married here tonight? You got a husband? Count your blessings. And how many of y'all are single? You don't have to answer to nobody.